welcome to our live training on blitzing your sales. I'm going to be covering a fair amount of ground on how to maximize your opportunity to generate sales. That's going to be a big part of our presentation. And I really want to look at this whole thing is really about blitzing, about sprinting for sales. So that's essentially what this whole talk is going to be focused on, is how do you actually go and generate sales really super fast, and more importantly, to maximize your opportunity to convert. Like the whole idea is to actually convert your sales opportunities. So this whole presentation is around how to speed up that process. This whole presentation, I'm going to be covering a whole bunch of tactics and strategies. I'm going to be making sure that you leave here, one, with a plan, but two, with the idea of actually going out there and generating at least 4 to 6 clients for your business. That's really the goal of today's presentation. I do have a slide presentation to share with you that I'll be sharing with you throughout this presentation, just to give you a bit of a closer look at some of the stuff that I'm talking about. And I'm also going to answer your questions at the end of this presentation as well. So we've got, as I said, we've got a whole bunch of people jumping on. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate that. This training is designed to focus you on making sure that you're hitting your objectives and sales in the market. So I'm going to be sharing my screen here. So you should be able to see my presentation. So essentially we're talking about sales blitzing or a sales sprint. I'm going to be covering some really cool tools that you can use to keep your focus and clarity around generating clients. And more importantly, I'm going to be focusing on some clear tactics that you can use. Now, I've done many sales blitzes in my business. I do them every quarter. We run our strategies around what we learn from our sales blitzes, because it allows us to improve our processes and systems and to speed and accelerate the process of sales. I'm actually going to show you a blitz that I did and the result and how it worked. I'm going to show you how I generated over $380,000 worth of sales using a blitz, and I guess really how you can apply the same sorts of tactics and strategies and all the things that you can do to generate sales quickly. The whole purpose of this training is to maximize your opportunity to generate sales. So I just want to make sure if you can just type in, you can see my slides or my screen. Let me know if you can see that clearly and you're hearing me okay. What I might do is I might turn the camera off. Got me? Okay, good to see you here, Michael. Might turn my camera off to save our interwebs here so that we don't get disturbed in any way from the signal. But we're going to rock and roll this live training. And as I said, I will answer your questions. And I am going to be sharing something with you. I'm going to give you an invitation to a live event that I'm holding in Austin at the end of this presentation, and also where you can take advantage of an incredible offer that I have. So this is not about that. This is about you and you generating as much as you can out of this live training so that you maximize your opportunity for sales. So let's talk about a sales blitz. So essentially, I want to talk about opportunity. Every single industry right now is being disrupted. Just to give you perspective, there are over 6 million active ad accounts on Facebook right now, yet there are 62 million businesses registered on Facebook. So only 10% of the active ad accounts of what the opportunity in the market is actually being utilized, which means there are millions of businesses out there that aren't using Facebook for advertising. There's also millions of businesses that aren't using AdWords. There are only just on 10 million active AdWords accounts right now. So that's in terms of opportunity, it's huge. Every industry is being disrupted. Online is changing rapidly. The rules of the game are changing rapidly. Even legislation is changing right now in people what they can do and what they can't do to engage business online. So that's all happening in real time, and that's affecting a lot of businesses. This is why it's really cool for us, because we've got some knowledge, we've got some understanding, and we know how things work. And even if we're starting out, we've got a better understanding of the opportunities in relation to how people can do better online. So this is a really key strategic advantage for a lot of people. I don't believe any market for consulting is saturated. In fact, I don't believe that is the case anywhere near the case of saturation. There is plenty of opportunity, and to do really well in this business, you don't need a lot of clients. Half a dozen clients could give you $100,000 plus worth of revenue. 24 clients is $1 million business if you're charging roughly about $3 grand a month for your services. 24 customers. Think of the tens of millions of businesses out there available to us all. We will never, ever, ever become saturated in the market because technology is changing, our skill sets are changing, and so in terms of opportunity, there has never been a better time to kind of be in the consulting business. What I do find with consultants is most people aren't doing what they need to do to generate clients. They're not consistent, they're not focused, they're not charging enough for what they do. They struggle to generate clients when they really don't need to because they undervalue their skills. And so the opportunity to do well and is exceptional, right? There's a low barrier to entry, but as long as you've got a skill that helps people get a result, people will pay you for those skill sets. And right now, I know this is the truth because not only from my experience with our consulting champions and our clients and our mastermind groups that are literally generating millions of dollars worth of sales in niche markets, in multiple niche markets, in multiple countries around the world, I know that the opportunity is quite significant and they are ever growing in the market. Even in our agency business, we went from 2 million to 12 million in 1 year. We're going to take that to 20 million in the next year. In 2 years from now, we're looking to aim that business at $100 million as an agency business in one key specific niche. So understand that in terms of opportunity, it's huge. In terms of people looking for your services, regardless if it's copywriting, email marketing, funnel building, automation, integration, web development, app development, graphic design, Facebook advertising, conversion rate optimization, SEO, all of these services are still in high demand for businesses because they can benefit from them in the marketplace. So we're going to talk about a sales blitz. Now, in American football, a blitz is a defensive tactic to squash the offense, in fact, to kill the quarterback. We're not going to be killing quarterbacks. I'm turning a sales blitz into not a defensive position, but an offensive position to actually generate more sales, to be in a situation where the sheer focus is on the objective that you're setting out for yourself to achieve and increase the number of clients you have for your business. That's what a blitz is, or that's what a sprint is. A sprint or a blitz gives you the opportunity to take massive action, to test, measure, apply, learn, get feedback, and recalibrate your opportunity to generate clients. That's what this presentation, this training is all about. So, first thing, you need to live in your calendar and not in your email. Biggest mistake that most people make, and I've done this in the past, is I've lived in my email. If I've got my email tab open, guess what I'm always looking at? Email. If email is my desktop open window at all times, I have a distraction because I'm constantly looking at emails. Stop having an email tab open on your laptop. Look at your emails twice a day, once in the morning, once in the afternoon, because looking at your email sends you down the rabbit hole. You either respond to things, and let me tell you, 98% of things, I would even go as high as saying 99% of the emails that you get don't require your urgent response. They don't require your urgent attention, and they certainly don't require your urgent response in most cases. We feel like we have to, but we really don't have to. And are things really urgent and important at the time that you receive them? In 99.9% of the cases, no. The only person that places that category on them is you, not the person sending you the email, right? So twice a day. And you can let your clients, I read my emails at this time. If you want to catch me, send the email at this time, right? You want me to read your email, send it at this time of day. I'll guarantee I'll read it then. If you need something urgent, mark it urgent. If you need something absolutely that needs to be done in the moment, in the minute, that is crucial for you, mark it urgent. So this way, email is not the rule of your life. You want to go to inbox 0 every single day. That's what I aim for, is an inbox 0 every single day. There's only probably half a dozen emails, not even, probably 5 or 6 emails that I really need to respond to that have any sense of importance that I need to respond to in any given day. Yet I get hundreds and hundreds of emails every day. And so I go to inbox zero. And if I can't do it, I get somebody else to manage it for me. So I don't need to worry about it, right? But you don't need to be ruled by email. Live in your calendar, and you'll notice that this is a snapshot of my calendar where there's a whole bunch of stuff in there. There's a lot of blue and light blue spaces. These are activities, sales generation activities, client engagement, coaching calls, webinars, events, trade shows, my own personal time, hanging out with friends, family, those sorts of things are in my calendar, because when it's in my calendar, then I know that this is where I need to pay my attention. Now, if my calendar's all white, which I assume a lot of people's calendars are, then you've got time. You can block out 1 to 2 hours a day, and that's all you really need in a blitz, 1 to 2 hours a day on focused income generating activity to generate your clients. Remember, live in your calendar, not your email. If you've got a CRM, a customer relationship management software system, Streak is a really simple one from Gmail. It attaches to your Gmail Google account. It's free. It's a great way to manage customers, your contacts, your connections, your communications, all in one space. Spend time in your CRM, spend time in your calendar. So I'm going to share this with you because this is the idea of this is to get you focused. Now, this is a revenue making matrix. Some people call it a money matrix. A friend of mine, Taki Moore, teaches this. Dan Sullivan teaches this as strategic coach. What is your channel, your giveaway, your connection, your conversion tool, and follow-up to actually generating sales? So a channel is, what do you use as a marketing channel or an engagement channel to engage customers? You know, cold email, LinkedIn, networking, podcasting, events, Facebook advertising, AdWords, speaking. You know, what do you do? So these are the channels. I'm going to show you a full matrix in a moment. Then what is your giveaway? You know, do you give away a case study? Do you give away an explainer video? Do you do a roadmap? Do you provide people with a cheat sheet? Do you provide people with industry report or something? What is your lead magnet or attention grabber that you have that people engage with you so they get to learn a little bit more about you and connect with you? So what is the giveaway? Then what's your conversion tool? Do you do one-on-one strategy sessions? Do you do webinars? Do you do live events? Do you do, you know, are you doing other types of things to convert people to your sale? Do you do face-to-face meetings, right? So what are your conversion tools? And your follow-up strategy is, do you, if they say no, if they're not responding, do you nurture them on email marketing? So do you have a nurturing process? Do you have retargeting if you're using Facebook to generate traffic? Are you using, you know, do you do phone follow-up, phone calls to follow people up? What are your follow-up strategies? And what we're looking for is, we're looking for one strategy that we know works, that if we double down on it, that we maximize the opportunity to generate sales. So this is what a matrix will look like. So for example, these are some of the channels I use. Now in our agency, we have 17 channels in our agency. In my previous agency, my larger agency, we had 23 different channels of generating clients at any one time. But in a sales blitz, what we need to do is pick one channel that's going to be hot for us that we can double down and go for as part of our marketing. Remember, we're focusing on the most important thing, and that is generating clients. So what is going to generate clients the fastest for us in a sprint in the next 30 days? So, for example, a channel could be speaking. You might speak at events, and that generates leads. You might be great at networking. You like hanging out with people, meeting people, so that creates opportunities. Cold email. You might use cold email because it's a fast way to get out there, direct to the market, open the door to them saying, yes, let's have a chat, opening the door to an opportunity. Facebook ads, you're running Facebook ad campaigns to generate leads. You might have a podcast where you're offering people to engage or connect with you through your podcast. You might use LinkedIn as a strategy to, you know, you might be a member of the using Sales Navigator for LinkedIn that gives you 33 direct connected opportunities every single month. So these are the sorts of things that you can do in terms of your channels. So most people that I know either have roughly between 3 and 5 channels on average in the agency, in their consulting business. So what you want to do is you want to write your channels down of how you attract and engage customers. The next is a giveaway. So what is your giveaway? Do you give away a case study, like a video case study they can watch? You might do a roadmap, a plan. Hey, here's a step-by-step process that we know that we utilize to maximize our clients' engagement of customers or generating leads. Do you do an explainer video? Hey, here's a common frustration people have generating clients in this market. Here's here's a simple solution that actually works. Here's a story of how it actually can work for you. If you want to know more, book an appointment with me. You might do an industry report. Hey, this is what's going on in the industry. This is how the internet is impacting. This is how your customers behave. This is what's going on for you in terms of opportunity. Have you thought of these 2 or 3 ideas that can make a difference to your business? You provide an industry report. Podcast. You might do a podcast where you're using regular topics, right? So training, you might offer some training. Say, hey, I do live training or in a live training for businesses. And would you like to book me in for some training? And at the end of that, if you like what we do, maybe we can help you even further. You might offer a cheat sheet. Hey, here's a checklist cheat sheet that you need to use that you can use for a specific purpose. My favorite cheat sheet ever, and this was the most basic cheat sheet, came from Clay Collins. Clay Collins, when he launched Lead Pages, his #1 lead magnet was how he made the tools that he used to make videos. So it was like what camera he used, what software he used. It was just a 1-page PDF. How do you make great videos for your landing pages? That's what he used as his lead magnet. It literally signed up hundreds of thousands of people to view his option because he gave a cheat sheet. Here's a simple thing that you can do, right? So conversion tool. Do you use a strategy session, a one-on-one live, a call? Do you use a webinar where you do one-to-many? I've got many consultants who use webinars to close one-to-many sales opportunities. Do you use a live event? We use a live event in our agency. Every 90 days, we get 200 people to a live event. We generate $1 million+ worth of revenue and sales in our live event. We do face-to-face meetings. Some people like face-to-face meetings. I don't like face-to-face meetings because face-to-face meetings takes time. However, some people love face-to-face meetings. So they love going to the clients, right? Do you do product launches? Do you walk your people through the 4-step product launch formula like Jeff Walker does? You know, what is the conversion? How do you convert a prospect into a customer? What is your conversion tool? The next is follow-up. So do you follow, and this is where people really fall down. They don't follow up often enough, but they need to follow up regularly. So you want to call people. You want to say, hey, did you like our ideas? Would you like to engage? Should we sit down? You want to talk to people. Email follow-up. Anybody on your list, you want to be following up for opportunities. Retargeting. If you're using Facebook or AdWords, use your retargeting pixels to drive people back into the opportunity of sitting down and talking with you. So if I look at this revenue matrix and I was to pick one strategy, I'm going to share with you a revenue matrix that I use to generate $380,000. I'm going to break it down and show you exactly how it works. You can literally copy it and apply it for anything that you do. You don't have to use the same strategy that I used. I'm just giving you the example of how it actually works. So for example, I like cold email because it's quick, it's fast, it's easy to get lists, it's easy to find names of people, it's easy to target vertical niches, so I can communicate one key message to the vertical niche. And if I'm doing a cold email as a blitz, then I can adjust and improve and test and measure my different campaigns to see how I can improve people to engage so I can generate an appointment. So for me, a cold email might go to, say, for example, an explainer video. Here's a link, watch this video, or if you want to know more, give me your phone number, let's get on a call, right? So I'm using the idea of a 10-minute chat to show them an idea as part of the giveaway, right? So, but I like to send people to a page. Here, have a look at this simple video. Here, click this button. If you want to speak to me, click this button, book a time in my calendar. Let's get on a one-on-one call. Let's get on a strategy session. So it might be cold email, explainer video, strategy session, and then at the end, I'm either going to get a yes, a maybe, or a no. Now, if I get a no, they automatically go into my follow-up sequence. If I get a maybe, I need to follow up by the phone. I need to be consistent in getting them from a maybe to a yes or a no. A maybe is a no. A maybe is not a client. It's not somebody paying you money. A maybe is I'm thinking about it. So I want to do my thinking about it within 24 to 48 hours. So I want to follow them up by utilizing the phone. The other thing that I do is I also use the phone to follow up emails. So if I see people opening my emails 2 or 3 times, I want to touch base and say, hey, why are you keeping my email at the top of your inbox? What is it about my email that's of interest to you? You know, if you can give me 60 seconds, you can let me know whether or not we should continue talking. Fair enough. That's a script, by the way, that I've just shared. Right? So this is a matrix that we use, and the idea is to pick one thing and double down on it. So if you have something that's working for you, what can you do to improve it, to double down on it, to make it work faster. That's the key that you want to do. That's the key that you want to use. Your goal is to focus on generating as many clients as possible in a short period of time. If you have a key methodology, a key giveaway, a key conversion strategy, a key follow-up strategy, you're going to get there a lot faster, right? That's the key. So next thing, secret weapon. I am going to share with you the most expensive, incredibly expensive secret weapon that I use and some of my clients use and some of my champions have used to generate hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of client sales. It's really, really expensive. It's so expensive that you can pretty much buy it anywhere. And for $13.46, you can get the tools, right? So I'm going to show you how you use these tools. This sheet, by the way, you can go to any Staples, any Home Depot, any Officeworks. It's just a plastic coated sheet. It's $1.99, $2 for this sheet, right? Then some Post-it notes, some Sharpies or whiteboard erasers. Ruler helps if you've got one handy. But I went out and bought these tools. It cost me $13.46, and this is what I turned it into. I turned it into a sales plan map, right? Let me explain. On the left-hand side here, we have what's the revenue you want to generate in the period of time you want to generate. On the bottom side, whether how many weeks or how many days. So if we're going to do this over 30 days, you want to map this out over 30 days because you want to map and track your progress, right? You'll notice that the words BAMOS here, the acronym for BAMOS is BAM is bare ass minimum. How much money do you need to live, survive, have a lifestyle, right? That's what your figure is that you need to make your lifestyle revenue. O stands for objective. So you might have double whatever your lifestyle is your objective of sales for that 30-day period. Stretch, S is for stretch. What would you like to stretch to? And the stretch is what the sales sprint is all about. The stretch is what the blitz is all about. It's not about hitting your objective. It's about going for the stretch. So we want to map this out a little bit. So for example, if I said I want to generate 7 clients or 7 sales, I'm going to put each sale, if you look at the right-hand side with all those Post-it notes, customer number 1 to customer number 7, roughly what the average spend is on that Post-it note. And as I bring those clients on board, I will peel that Post-it note off and focus on the next client. Peel the Post-it note off again, and on the next client, we're going to go client by client to generate as many clients as possible, right? Then we have appointments. How many appointments do you need to generate those sales? So for example, in this particular scenario, based on this little example that I'm sharing with you, 7 sales, let's say I've got a 1 in 4 close rate, 25%. It means I need to generate 28 appointment opportunities over a 30-day period to get 7 customers in 30 days, right? That's a little over 1 appointment per day. It's not a lot, 1 appointment per day, right? If I had 2 hours a day to generate an appointment per day, I'm home and hosed. It doesn't take me 2 hours. Sometimes it takes me minutes to generate an appointment, okay? So this is a little sales plan, right? Then we have our target figure. Let's say we wanted to get $14,000 in recurring revenue per month, and then we have a fulcrum leading up to that. This is our chart, and we're going to track that each day as we go along. And so we track the number of appointments we generate, and we track the clients that we bring on board, and we are focused on this on a daily basis. I have charts like this on my whiteboards when I go to my offices. I have them on my desktop. I have these charts all the time because I'm focused on the most important thing, and that is bringing in customers, making sure they get awesome results with the supply chain that I have, and more importantly, to maximize my opportunity to grow an asset or grow a business, things that you need to be focused on, right? So next, this is a whiteboard of an execution of a strategy plan, right? So I'm going to walk you through this to exactly explain what this blitz is about. I'm going to talk about tactics and strategies in just a moment. So in my blitz, I chose networking as the channel that I wanted to generate clients. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to go to as many networking events as possible within a 30-day period. And so what I chose was I went and found all the events that were possible that I could attend within a 30-day period. So time frame is for 4 weeks. Here's the events. Now, BNI breakfasts, there were 12 BNIs. Average number of people that attended those BNIs is 20 people. I never became a member, but I know you can go to 2 BNI breakfasts without having to become a member. And so I rang these BNIs. Now, some people say, hey, BNIs are small businesses, John. I don't want to deal with small businesses because they don't have any budgets. Let me tell you that I generated $500,000 worth of sales out of BNI. not from the people who attended BNI, but from the people who they work with. Especially if you go to downtown BNIs, they tend to work with bigger clients. It's a great place to generate referrals. And sometimes you do have great influencers or connectors within the BNI groups that you can generate client opportunities from. So they do work, and they can work really well if you choose the right group, and more importantly, if you look at the way that you build a relationship. So that's an update now. Valley Chamber was a very proactive inner city chamber, 80 clients. Average businesses in some of those chambers were between 10 and 50 million plus. So sizable businesses in that particular chamber. QLDCCI, this is a state industry chamber of commerce. Some of their businesses in there were hundreds of millions of dollars. The average business in that particular group runs between 1 million and 30 million, $40 million about the average. Northside CC, this is a Northside chamber, very popular. There was 60 people that attend that. The CEO TechNet, these are CEO only. They have to be businesses of 5 million plus. They had an event. There were 20 members. I was able to get myself to go to that. The IIAUD is the Institute of Auditors. This is a Queensland chapter. There were 80 people that attended that. Some of the biggest accounting firms, medium-sized and lower-sized accounting firms attend that event. There are 80 people. AIM, the Australian Institute of Management. There's an American Institute of Management. There is a British Institute of Management. There are institutes of management in a lot of Western countries that have lots of businesses that go there with C-level executives. The event that I attend, the leadership event, all C-level executives, there were 60 attendees. TC Biz Network is a not-for-profit organization for directors of professional associations. There were 150 people. So in all, in that 4 weeks, I would have had access to 840 connections and opportunities in that event on the right-hand side, right? So this was my goal when I went to an event. My goal was to meet 7 to 10 contacts per event. I would try and give, at any event, there would be 20 to 30% owner, CEO level, managing director level people. So there were over 200 people that were potentially in that marketplace, or my sweet spot of who I wanted to connect with. The third thing is, number C, is I wanted to connect with the event organizer. The reason why I connect with the event organizer is they've got all the connections. They know who all the players are. They know who, they sit at the head table. They're the president of the association. I want to connect with that person because that person will share their connections with me. If I, especially in a networking environment, they'll introduce me to people. So I want to be on their table. So I want to connect with them, right? So the services I was offering is I was charging for a strategy session. I was charging $495 to do a strategy session, not free, charging, right? That's what I was offering. I had a basic package of 6K down to do an integration and setup of a database for a minimum of 1,000 contacts, $6 grand plus $2 grand a month management fee. Data email strategy, if they had a bigger database, $12,000 for setup, $3,000 a month for management. Data email and 3 actual campaigns that I create, $24,000 plus $3,000 a month. And if we were doing internet marketing strategy, just coaching and consulting, 3 to 6K per month is what I was offering. They were my packages, right? So essentially I was a funnel, email marketing and funnel builder is what I was selling. Okay, so I want to walk you through my sales process and methodology. These are the 11 steps on the right-hand side of this table, right? So my first thing was always contact the event host, always connect with the event host. Meet the host either at the event or have a conversation prior to the event, so I get to know about who's coming, what the event's all about, how people get benefit, what the purpose is. The reason why I want to connect with the event owner and want to go to the event, with the event host or the president association is because the whole purpose of events is to create business opportunities and network. And if the organizer of an event has an example that they're bringing people into the event, it's a premium example where they share that with the rest of the group. And this is what happens, and this happens all the time. The president or the host or whatever will talk about the importance of people bringing more people into this community. And so I've brought my friend, John Logar over here, along to come and be part of our group today. You should all be encouraging people to join and create business opportunities. So it puts them in a favorable light, but it also introduces John Logar to 20, 30, 40, 100 people in the room, right? Really sneaky tactic, by the way. It's really easy to do. So I want to meet the event host. I want to make between 7 and 10 contacts. On average, you'll be plonked down on a table at breakfast or at a lunch with 8 or 9 other people. So you can have all the contacts, but the table that I want to be on is the head table. And the only way I'm going to get on that head table is to connect with the event host and say, hey, is it okay if I sit with you? This is the first time. It'd be really cool if we can connect. And guess what? They'll introduce you to all the important people, all the influencers, all the bigger players will be at the head table. So now I want to connect with at least 7 to 10 people at that event. Now there's this little tool, card scanner. It's called BizCard or BizCard Scan. It's free. It's a free app. Evernote has a business card scanning tool. What it does is you can take a photo with your cell phone and you can actually just, it'll strip the email and the phone number and everything and put it into your contacts list. And what I do is I have an email already pre-set up in my phone. It's an auto email that says, hey, Mary, great to meet you here at the BCCI event. I just want to touch base. I really want to connect with you and understand what type of clients you look after, or more importantly, what are the types of clients that get the best result from the service that you provide. I'd love to talk to you about that. I talk to a lot of business people and I want to be able to refer clients to you. Is it okay if we connect? That's what I do in the email. Now, I generally send that email like 1 or 2 minutes after the event finishes and everybody goes out. I just literally duck off either to my car or I'll walk off into the lobby of the hotel. And if I've only got 6 or 7 contacts, I'm only sending out 6 or 7 emails out from my phone. But here's the cool thing, it happens. By the time they get back to their office, they've already got an email from you saying, hey, great to meet you at this event. It's really cool. Maybe I'd like to know a little bit more about you, what type of clients you're generating. More importantly, I'd love to be able to refer customers to you because I talk to business all the time. Can we connect? Generally, my connection is on a phone follow-up, right? I make a time for a phone meeting. I don't like to do, or the only time I'll do a face-to-face, if it's a really big opportunity, it might be a big strategic alliance opportunity, or it might be a huge prospective client opportunity, then I'll do a face-to-face meeting. But most of my meetings, 95% of them, all on the phone, never face-to-face, right? I want to offer a $495 strategy session. At the end of that conversation, they'll ask me, what do you do? And they'll say, this is what I do. Because if you're going to refer clients to me, I would like to refer clients to you. Well, this is essentially what we do. We run a strategy session, blah, blah. Look, normally I charge $1,500, but if you're interested, I can do one for $495, right? This is what you get out of it. And have you ever sat down, thought about your opportunities in terms of growing your business, getting more out of your existing customer base, maximizing your opportunity to automate your sales? It'd be worthwhile looking at a game plan that can help you that. And is it worth investing $495 to do that? The answer is always going to be yes, right? So then I'm going to do my research on the business, the company, do my pre-consultation questionnaire, ask questions in that process at step 9, and then I'm going to put a presentation together for that strategy session and deliver that with an offer. Step 10, my strategy session, here's the plan, here's what you said that your objectives were, here's why you said that was important to you, these are the things that are stopping you from achieving that objective, here's the solutions that I know that will work to help you generate those objectives, and away we go. Right? So we offer a solution. Then we're either going to get a yes, no, or maybe, right? A yes, they start as a client, awesome, big win, high five. Maybe I need to think about it. So we're going to ask them 24 to 48 hours. You're going to say, hey, if you need to think about it, you need a partner, whatever. Great. Is it okay if I call you tomorrow at 4 o'clock or on Thursday at 9 a.m., which suits you best? Call me on Thursday at 9 a.m. Awesome, right? So at 9 a.m., I'm going to call and say, hey, we talked about these things. Are you interested in taking the next step, right? That's all I'm doing, right, in that follow-up. Now, if I can't get a yes within that 48-hour period or a designated time, I generally will treat them as a no and put them into my email list. And as a no, I'll say, hey, is anybody else you know that could benefit from this type of strategy session? I ask for a referral. You'll notice here, if a no equals a referral, right? So I did this strategy in 4 weeks. I attended all of these events. I generated 180 contacts, business cards of people that I followed up. Of the 180, we sold 25 strategy sessions. That was $13,000 just in strategy sessions in 4 weeks. From that, we sold a couple of the data setup packs. We sold 4 of the data email number 4s, and we sold 6 of the internet marketing strategy. It worked out to be $380,000 worth of annualized revenue off this strategy. So this is a doubling down on one channel, right, to go through that process. Every day I had appointments. Every day I was asking people to take the next step. That's the whole process here. So this is a breakdown of an execution of that strategy. So now, some days are not going to work out for you, and that's okay. Every day is a do-over. The sun comes up every day, and your day starts every day, right? A new day every day. You can't change what happened yesterday. You can't change what's going to happen the next day, but you can certainly impact on what happens today. And so you want to get back on the horse. Remember, this is a sprint. This is a focus. This is about being clear and concise. And this is about executing with energy, little steps every single day to hit your objective and hit your outcome. Every day is a do-over. So there's a funny thing. I call it Make It Happen Monday. And I look about 3 most important things I've got to focus on. So I choose 3 things on Monday that I must do by Friday, right? So Wednesday, what's up Wednesday? I actually check, how am I going with my objectives? How am I going along the way? How am I going with my charts to maximize my opportunity for conversions? Remember, consistency of focus on the very important things are the things that are going to actually work and make happen for your business. And the last one here is we have Fuck It Friday. So all Fucking Friday is a celebration of all the hard work that we did during the week. And so that might be, I'm going to go and hang out with some friends, I'm going to go out and see a movie, going to go to a restaurant, I'm going to do something nice to acknowledge the hard work that I've done or put in through my efforts, right? So on Friday, even though I might not have completed all my 3 tasks, I'll guarantee you that I would have completed at least 1 or 2 of them. The important tasks. So the whole key thing is to be consistent and focused. So sometimes I'll even put a post-it note on a laptop, right? And I'll say, hey, email campaign, set up 3 appointments, make a sales pitch, right? What I need to tick off. And so at the end of the week, I'll look at that post-it note and, hey, I only have 3 most important things, right? The idea is to keep it visible, keep it focused. So tactics, I want to make sure that you're still with me on this live training. You can still hear me. How are we going? Any questions so far? Are we cool? Can you know, who's loving this right now? Just say yes. Thank you. David Torrance, best one yet. Yep, awesome. Thank you. Okay, Al, awesome, great. So I know that you're listening. I know that we're here. Thanks, Peter. Awesome. All right, great. So I just want to make sure that you're still here and that you're maximizing the opportunity that we're sharing. Write down the big, you know, if we were to think about what you've just learned or what I've just shared, just write down one thing that you're going to action of what I've just done and just type it in the question. I just want to do this as a bit of interactive so I know that you're thinking. So for David, it's the matrix. Drilling into our things goals. Double down, yeah, absolutely. Double down on what's working, improve, adjust, calibrate, absolutely. Who else? If you were to pick one thing that you've learned so far in what I've shared, what are you going to do? Just type it in. Graph my sales targets. Yes, Peter, absolutely. What you focus on most, what you put in front of you. Focus on one strategy, absolutely, LG. The sales chart, awesome, yes. Live in your calendar, huge. My calendar is insane. Yes, it is insane. Double down, yes, awesome, Al. Okay, great. So really important to understand that when we do training that you apply some of this stuff, and I want to make sure that you're taking this in and so you can maximize your opportunity to generate sales. So I'm going to talk about tactics here, things that you can do really, really fast to generate sales, and I'm going to give you examples in those tactics. First one, follow up on old proposals. Anybody that you've pitched to in the last 6 months or 12 months, go and pull their details out, go and pull the pitch out or the presentation or the proposal out and go through that proposal and call them up and say, hey, haven't spoken in a while. I know we spoke back about a few months ago or 6 months ago. How did you go with that objective, that strategy? Did you go and develop that website? Did you go and put that ad campaign in? Did you do the Facebook marketing? Did you actually go on ahead and apply this? What happened with that? Or maybe is it worthwhile sitting down, re-looking at your opportunity? It's amazing whenever I pull out, and every time I pull out all my old pitches where people have said maybe or no, or they're what I call my no pile, I always generate a client. And here's what happens. Sometimes you hear people say things like, this happens to me every time I do this. Every time I do the follow-up of the pitch, people say, you know what, funny you should call me because we're just thinking about this. Right? It's funny you should call me at this time. We've been thinking about we need to do something about this. right? That always happens when I follow up. But the number one thing right now, the reason why I love this is these people know who you are, they know how much you charge, they've been through a presentation, so they know your capabilities, you've walked them through. So you don't need to build this whole rapport and relationship with them. These are easier sales to make. At the time, they just weren't ready. At the time, maybe they are ready now. Maybe they want to do something new, something fresh. Maybe they want to run, maybe they want to change something. Follow up your old proposals. 0 to 6 months, I always pull them out every 90 days. I go and call everybody. How you doing? What's happening? Because what you do is you're building rapport, building a relationship. I remember that I followed this person up for 18 months, but that sale was worth $180,000. Is it worth following somebody up with a phone call, an email, over 18-month period to collect $180,000? Absolutely, right? Absolutely. So make an offer to your familiar list. A lot of people forget this, and a lot of people just don't do this. Let people know who you know, what you do, right? Let people know what you do to maximize your opportunity to generate sales opportunities. Most businesses, most people, when they start out, they start generating clients from their familiar lists. I'm sure some of you here have generated clients from people who you know, right? People you've met, people from the family or associates, colleagues, alumni, right? Fastest way, make an offer. Let people know what you're working on. Let people know the cool stuff that you're learning. Ask them if they know anybody who would benefit from this or who that they think that you should be speaking to. Make an offer to your familiar list is one of the fastest ways to generate clients. Number two, make an offer to any list that you have. If you've got an old list, a cold list, a warm list, a hot list, a nurtured list, engaged list, if you've got something like that, even on social media, if you've been engaging, right, share something, make an offer to that list. And that offer could be, hey, can I share a simple idea? Can I show you how we've been able to help businesses generate 20 to 30 sales opportunities every month on autopilot? Can I show you a way where you can pick up another 4 or 5 clients a week for your business? Can I show you a simple way that has your system automatically following up your sales and converting for you using a simple software tool, right? What can you do that adds an end result benefit that you can send an offer to? Hey, would you like to see a really simple strategy I know that can generate hundreds of client opportunities for your business? Is that something that would be useful to you? If it is, or if you want to know more, just reply with your cell phone number or just say yes. There's an email for you, right? Make an offer, right? Get out of your bedroom and into the meeting room. We are so caught up with this entrepreneur's game, this consulting game can be a very lonely game. We work out of bedrooms, garages, little desks in little kitchens, sometimes from our kitchen tables, and we are on our own. And let me tell you, one of the most amazing things that you can do is get out of your working space and go and get into somebody else's working space. So today we have co-working spaces all over the world. One of the things that I do is I travel the world. If you know me, I travel extensively and I visit a lot of co-working spaces. And the reason why I love co-working spaces is lots of people working on projects, new ideas, new businesses, existing businesses, growing businesses. To give you an idea, I was recently at Transbay WeWork in San Francisco only a few weeks ago. At that office, there was a company called Visify. Visify is a software company that specializes in developing software for robotics. There were 30 people working out of that co-working office for that company. They were a $100 million software company. Atlassian, if anybody knows who Atlassian is, they're a security software company. They are based out of Austin, Texas, at the Capital Factory, which is a co-working space. That's where their headquarters is. They're a $1.8 billion company. They were originally an Australian company. They moved, and I think they recently sold to a US company, right? But they're at a co-working space. You'll be amazed at some of the large companies that are at co-working spaces. But the thing I love about co-working spaces is it's a very productive environment. You get a lot of people around. There's a lot of people mulling around, so it feels like you're in an energized environment. And the other thing is do at lunchtime or around 10 o'clock when people go and get a coffee or whatever, you hang around the bench, you say hi and introduce yourself, and people are really friendly and they want to know what you're working on and what you do, and you'll be amazed at how many people need your help in those environments. Or if they don't, they might have a client that needs your help as well. Get out of the bedroom and into a meeting room or into a boardroom, away from your desk environment. This will re-energize, refresh you, and open you up to more ideas. So network like crazy. Go and hang out and meet people, because one thing as a consultant is you want to understand how businesses work. The more you understand how businesses work, the more money you're going to make, because then you're able to articulate, engage, share ideas that are relative and important to those people based on what you learn from those conversations. And when you network, you always open the door to generating sales. Every networking situation I've been in, I've always seen an opportunity to either connect with somebody who can influence and introduce me to others, or somebody who has an opportunity to do business with me. Network like crazy. Ask for referrals. We as consultants never ask for referrals. It's crazy. I ask all my clients for referrals. I say, hey, if you like what we're doing and we're getting some great results for you, do you mind referring us to some people? And oftentimes when I ask, we get them. I had one client which literally within a month referred $30,000 in recurring revenue to me in 1 month. That's $360,000 worth of annualized revenue just from referrals from one customer. Ask people for referrals. Even ask the people who say no. Say, look, if you've enjoyed this experience, who else do you know that needs to see this, right? Is there someone that we should be talking to? Ask for referrals. It's one of the fastest ways. Referrals are easier to sell to, easier to engage. They're more willing, right? They are awesome to have. So ask for referrals. Cold email outreach is a very powerful strategy. It's very cheap, inexpensive to do. Little bit of time. In fact, you can get lists really easily. You can just type in association list, trade show, network lists. You can go to Inc. 5000. You can go to Yelp. There's my favorite list site is compass.com, KOMPASS.com, because you can drill down into a niche, then you can drill down and find out who the owner of the business is, and you can drill down into their email and address and phone number, everything all in one database at the click of a button. So there's heaps of databases, A to Z Guide, Business Guide USA, Manta, USA.com, info.com, all these areas where you can find leads. There's no shortage of where you can find cheap, free leads. And so if we've got their name, then we need to, and the thing I like about cold email is you can target a vertical market or a niche. Go to an association. If you go, let's say we're targeting plastic surgeons, the American Society of Plastic Surgeons.org, if you go to their website and it says find a surgeon, and then you can put in a zip code. And if you put in the zip code for Manhattan, 10002, it'll give you within a 25-mile radius every name of every plastic surgeon, registered plastic surgeon in New York City, in Manhattan. And I can tell you right now, there are 190 rhinoplasty specialists in a 25-mile radius of Manhattan. If you go to that list, and it gives you the name of the doctor, the phone number, the clinic, the website, sometimes even the email. Easy to find leads. Then you want to look at the email you send. The email needs to be relevant. What is the benefit? What are the frustrations? What are the things that they desire? Just talk about those things in your email and say, do you want to know more? If you want to know more, just reply with your cell phone number. Let's get on a call. It's a really fast way to get, and the idea is to fine tune. Most people give up. This is the thing, and this is not a slight towards how people are, but I think a lot of people tend to forget that if you send one email and nobody responds, or let's say you do one campaign and nobody responds, that doesn't mean you can't send another campaign, right? It doesn't mean that the email that you sent out might not have been relevant enough. I've written emails cold in a matter of 30 seconds, hit the button and had 2 or 3 people come back and say yes. Then I've had email campaigns where I've hit the button, I've had crickets and no, right? The idea is to fine tune. Think about what you're writing. Is it relevant to the person receiving it? Are they the right person receiving it, right? But it's a very fast way of generating clients. Speak at an event, speak at a Chamber of Commerce, speak at a seminar, speak at an association event, speak at a breakfast. There are so many people who are looking for interesting people with interesting ideas to share, to speak to their audiences. And I'm going to show you a website where you can find bucket loads of organizers for these types of things, right? But things like meetup.com, they're always looking for people to speak at their meetups. But when you speak, you have authority. When you've got authority, you actually open the door to people coming to you and saying, hey, I want to know more about what you do, right? And this is not about you pitching. This is about you sharing and teaching ideas. And there are people that don't know what tracking pixels are. There's people that don't know what targeting is, what perfect audience is. They don't get how Facebook works. And if you do, if you show them how it works, and then you automatically become the experts. One of the easiest ways to get clients is to speak, right? Because what you do, and I'm going to give you a really simple thing that you can do if you ever speak at an event where you can get tons and tons of appointments, right? So what you do, when I generally speak to an audience, one of the things that I say, because I don't pitch when I speak, I normally share content, ideas, tactics, and strategies. So things that they can use, things that are of value to the audience. It's not about me, it's about them and what they get out of it. That's what I'm after, right? So what I do is I'll send them, I'll say, hey, I hope you got a lot of this. The reason I come to events like this is to meet people like you. My goal and my purpose here is to help you. If you need help in these areas, or if you have any questions, make sure that you meet me at the back of the room. I'm going to be standing over that door over there. Make sure you come and say hi to me at the end of this presentation. I'm more than happy to answer the questions. And I've literally stepped off the platform or walked from the front of the room, and people follow me to the back of the room. Right. One time I did this, I had a room of about 1,000 people in the room. I used this strategy in this room. I had 200 people literally follow me to the back of the room, which literally blocked doorways and congested the back of the room. But here's the thing, then I turned that into an opportunity. Look, I know that I can't answer your questions. I'm happy to answer key questions here. These are some of the frequently asked questions that I get. Who wants to know about this? Who wants to know about that? I had my own little mini seminar at the back of the room for 15 minutes. And then I said, look, I know that I can't, I'm short, we've got a lot of people here. Easiest thing you do is give me your card, right? Or give me your details on something, or text me this. Here's my number, text me a message. And you watch 50 people will pull out their phones and start texting you messages, right? To do that. So understand that events are very powerful. And that little strategy of meet me at the back of the room, I'm here to help, I'm here to answer your questions. If you want to know more, I'll be standing over there. I'll guarantee you'll always get people coming to you saying, I want to know more, right? So speaking is huge. Go to a seminar or conference as an attendee, not as, or a trade show as an attendee. The reason why I go to these events, travel around the world, is one, I learn about industry niches. This is how I get to learn about what's important to the markets that I go after. The second thing is I get to meet a whole bunch of prospective clients in a room. I had one of my consulting champions, Tom, from Japan, flew out from Japan, met me at a live event. We were attending a live event in Dallas-Fort Worth. It was a big conference. And so we went to one of the sessions in the morning, and we sat down, and there was a guy sitting beside Tom, and Tom decides to introduce himself because, you're just sitting there and getting ready. He said, hey, my name's Tom. We've both got badges. His name's Steve. And so, Tom started talking to Steve, and then Tom started talking to Steve further. And turns out that Tom was running a company, a $50 million software company that specialized in the real estate industry. And Tom was a conversion rate optimization specialist. That was his thing. And he knew what to do there. And so he generated a client. So he came to a conference, met a guy, a stranger, at the conference by just saying hi and just having a coffee and learning. And it's amazing how many people you can meet. Go to events. Some of these events are very inexpensive, as I'm about to show. Visit trade shows. I love trade shows because lots of money are spent at trade shows. A ton of cash. When I say lots of money, some people will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars just to be at a 2 or 3 day trade show, because that's what it costs. Some people are paying $6,000 just for the floor space, let alone what they have to pay for their booth, let alone what they have to pay for their staff to man the booth for the 3 days, the accommodation. People spend tens of thousands of dollars. And some of the trade shows that I go to, some companies spend millions of dollars. Now, these events are purely because they're investing in marketing and sharing their products to the audience or attendees of those events, right? So it's a huge, huge opportunity. And so something that I highly recommend that you go to, because it also is a vertical market. And at trade shows, some of them are in supply chains, and supply chains means they've got multiple connections that you can go to where they can introduce you to hundreds of clients. In fact, one of my consulting champions has just developed a strategic alliance partnership with a software company that has access to his entire niche and is literally saying, hey, we need to help our people to get better at their marketing. We will share you with our list. Can you teach them? And then naturally that's going to turn into bucket loads of clients for his business. I've done this many times, so trade shows are huge. So promote and run webinars. Webinars are really easy to do. A lot of people make a big hoo-ha of how to run a webinar. The technology is not that difficult. GoToMeeting is really easy to use. Zoom is really easy to use. Some people using Webinar Jam. There's all these sorts of software, tons of software. Blue Jeans, another one available for webinars. And here's the cool thing about webinars. They're cheap to run. because you just got to show up to an internet connection and you just got to invite people in to register to show up. And you can talk to people as if you're talking to them in a room, like I'm talking to you, right? So I'll give you a couple of examples of this. Nick, one of my consulting champions, he generates about 8 to 10 clients a month just running a simple webinar where he gets 10 to 15 people on a webinar, and at the end of that webinar, half of those people want to go the next step, and the end of that webinar, half of those people will buy something from him. I had Matt Holmes, one of the guys that I work with. He would generate an average of $100,000 worth of annualized revenue every time he did a webinar, and he would do a webinar at least once or twice a month. And he would just send out to a small email list. We're not talking tens of thousands of people. We're talking to an email list of 100, 200 people, right? You don't need 20, 30, people, you don't need 100 people turn up to a webinar. It's okay to have 20 or 30 people turn up to a webinar, because then 1, it becomes more intimate. 2, you can answer questions. 3, you have an opportunity to present to them. So you can put on a webinar in the next 24 hours and say, hey, I'm going to do this thing. It doesn't matter if 1 person turns up. That means you're having a conversation with a prospective person who's interested in what you have to teach or share or offer. It's a phenomenal leveraged way to generate opportunities. If you get really good at it, you can drive traffic to it, like we do to our webinars in our agency. We run traffic, Facebook traffic to it, right? So we know that we're promoting to generate clients, right? So you don't need to get sophisticated. Just use GoToMeeting or Zoom or whatever and invite people in, and then teach some of your best stuff, right? And at the end of that, say, look, if you want to know more or you want to see how this works for you, let's just get on a call. Let's talk. Make that offer, make it really simple. And then the next step, let me understand what you're all about, where you're all about, what are you looking for, what's your objective, why is that important, what's stopping you from achieving that. If I can share a really simple idea and a strategy that can hit that objective for you, show you ways where that becomes affordable and you get a great ROI, is it worth sitting down and having a chat about it? The answer is always going to be yes. So 10 times, one of my favorite websites, www.10, the number is 10 times, TIMES.com. Type in your city and it'll show you every trade show, seminar, meetup, event in your vicinity, in your location. Now, some of those events, if you look at the bigger ones, it'll actually give you the name of the organizer of the event. It'll give you phone numbers, emails. It'll also give you trade show exhibitors, and some of them, it'll even show you who's attending the event and give you their contact details as well, which is pretty cool. So this is a free website, 10 times. Tons of trade shows, tons of conferences, tons of exhibitions. I have this app on my phone. Whenever I'm traveling, I see, hey, what's happening? What events on at the moment? Can I go and check out the trade show? Sometimes I have to pay. A lot of times I get to go for free. And so this is a great way to pick up leads and generate opportunities.